When we got that phone call from that passenger, this all began as a sister's trip to Miami and ended with one of them in jail.
Need your boarding pass, please?
Tension at the ticket counter after Tanisha Grayer is told she can't board her flight home to Chicago. She reached out to us after it happened.
I'm right here. I'm telling you. I'm right here. You need to get out my face. You don't have to address me like that. You can say whatever you need to say from right there. You don't have to get in my face.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
And you don't get to tell me what to do.
do.
Okay, just say it from over there. And these is just regular shorts. This is how I walk through the airport. This is how I walk through the airport. With these shorts on. With my robe. This is exactly how I have my clothes.
It all started when Grayer was denied boarding because of her outfit. She's wearing the same thing today because her luggage made it onto the flight even though she didn't. She also tells us she wore similar shorts when she flew to Miami on Sunday.
We were getting ready to board the plane, and the lady at the front desk, she stopped me and said, "You're not getting on a plane like that." So I looked at her and I said, "Like what?" She said, "With those shorts."
Wearing her bathrobe over her outfit, Grayer said her clothes were not revealing.
They said if you can't have the bottom or your butt out, that's why this robe is on. That's why.
Spirit Airlines has a dress code policy that prohibits lewd, obscene, or offensive clothing, including body art, and requires passengers to be adequately clothed. Adequately clothed. This means no bare feet, see-through clothing, or attire that exposes breasts, buttocks, or other private parts. Passengers who violate the dress code may be denied boarding or removed from the flight and may not be eligible for a refund, according to the airline contract of carriage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. OJs. Wow, wow, wow. So she gets on the, well, she's trying to get up in that plane like this. She got on her Versace. I'm kind of confused. Did she have it unbuttoned? Listen again. Let me see here.
He said, "You're not getting on a plane like that." So I looked at her and I said, "Like what?" She said, "With those shorts."
Wearing her bathrobe over her outfit, Grayer said her clothes were not revealing.
They said if you can't have the bottom or your butt out, that's why this robe is on. That's why this robe is on, so that I'm not too revealing. If it was a problem.
So evidently, there's no way in the world, if the robe was covering her, they would have known her cheeks were showing. Agree? So I'm looking at this story like, what do you want them to do in relation to their dress code? What do you expect them to do? I mean, you would think common sense would overrule this thing. She says that when she left, she got, she was dressed a certain way, I guess similar shorts. I'm assuming it was the same airline. I don't know. And if it was, maybe she was covered or maybe they didn't catch it. But be that as it may, they set the standard. What are we doing, people? What are we... I was having a conversation with myself the other day. And I was thinking, not only is this arguably the third generation of gangster rap and the second generation of drill rap, this is also the second or third generation of kids going to public school where arguably what you try to instill in your child is, again, arguably not instilled in school. I mean, what I'm getting at is the things that they learn, the morals, especially, well, I can't go there, but let's just call it the morals. You know what I'm trying to say? There's something that clicks in the way that we're made because we're in the image of God. I believe there's something that clicks. Whereas if you're allowed to go past a certain point, then you should know when you go past that point. But if you go through this public school system, if you watch this internet, if you watch these stupid rap videos, you know which ones I'm talking about, then maybe you don't see what's wrong when you're out in public. Put in the comment section, let me know how you think. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking, Pearson, you know, school, when I was going to school, it was instilled in you a certain type of behavior. Now things are more liberal. I noticed it's got to be in the teaching. And they're spending more time, that is the kids, at school than they are at home. And when you throw in the one parent mix as opposed to two parents, and I'm not blaming it on school, I'm just looking at the whole of society. Where did we go wrong where you think you can walk through the airport with your robe on? I don't care if it is Versace. And you know, good and well, your cheeks is out. Come on, baby. Don't you want to be adored? What is it about this generation where it's got to be the Tupac, All Eyes on Me, National Enquirer, Globe, Examiner, TMZ, Look at Me moment? I don't get it. I'm sure I'll never get it. This shouldn't be going on. And shout out to Spirit. Shout out to Spirit for making these types of rules, because people, look, again, how did they know the cheeks was out? Did they ask her to open it up? She didn't say. So I'm assuming that they saw him out, so they addressed it. Now, you got to remember, you got families on the plane. You have kids. That's what I want to say. You have kids that fly. You have kids that come off the planes. You have kids in the area. Let me just say it. Have some respect. And have some respect for yourself. I know I'm going to get the comments now. Oh, Pearson, there you go. People, look. Let me preface it by saying all women, because it's summertime and I'm seeing it everywhere. I said this about a month ago. I did a live show downtown, and I remember I was getting ready, and as I was getting out of the car, I didn't know there was some festivities going on Michigan Avenue in the park. And I tell you, these young girls today, they leave nothing for the imagination. They just don't. Listen to her sister. Check it out. Her sister got arrested for this.
Address me about my attire. I'm confused. This is crazy.
That voice in the background is Grayer's sister, Jessica Kordelewski. So first, Tanisha says she can't get on her Spirit flight because of her outfit, and then, to make matters worse, she says her sister is arrested for disorderly conduct.
They treated me like a real criminal.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, air travel was a more luxurious and glamorous experience. Passengers dressed in their finest attire. But today, most people in the airport sport more comfortable clothing. We showed other flyers Grayer's outfit and told them she wasn't allowed on her Spirit flight.
Honestly, I don't think that's fair. I feel like every girl, no matter what they're wearing, should be able to express themselves.
Honestly.
you should be allowed to express yourself. That's what I'm talking about, people. Where is these liberal ideas coming from? Human decency isn't first?
She wasn't allowed on her Spirit flight.
Honestly, I don't think that's fair. I feel like every girl, no matter what they're wearing, should be able to express themselves.
Honestly, it's not even bad. The fact that she got kicked off the flight for that is pretty crazy.
As for the sisters, they say they caught another flight back to Chicago Thursday night.
I'm going home. Getting on a flight and going home. We're done with Miami. We ain't never coming here again.
And we reached out to Spirit for comment on the situation, and they provided us with this statement saying, in part, our records show a guest was not in compliance with her contract of carriage and refused to comply when provided the opportunity to do so. The guest and their travel companion were eventually denied boarding after displaying disruptive behavior. Now, Grayer said,
there you go. Now, you guys probably remember I did a video about a week and a half ago in relation to Mellow Bucks. There were 4 people they reported unalived. The Mellow Bucks had a, how would you say it? She had an album just came out and they were celebrating. Less than a 5-minute drive from downtown Chicago. You guys probably remember I covered that video. I did a live show. In that, I talked about this. This is a Mellow Bucks video from a year ago. 5.5 million views. And when I tell you as a man, it's one of the most raunchiest things I've ever seen. When I did the research on the rapper, this is not the rapper. This is one of the girls that's in the music video. You name it. Almost, they doing it. She got the grill in her mouth, her head down, this up, and she's shaking it and making it. And that's what the song is about. And people, this is what's happening in our society. So I'm not surprised that this is going on. I'm not surprised. As I was looking at this, I was looking at.
You don't have to get in my face.
I was looking at this here, F3. F is the 6th letter of the alphabet, and that's 3, so 6-3. So I don't know. Should I take this thing with a grain of salt that this thing was fabricated? I don't know, but that's 6-3 just for the record. But people, tell me how you feel. What has happened to us? I feel so bad for them that they just won't be ladylike. Dr. King died, Malcolm X died, a lot of civil rights leaders. What would they say right now if they saw this? What would they, and I can't show you the other stuff because I don't want to go there, but And Mellow Bucks is not the only one that's doing this. You got rappers doing this in a lot of their videos. And women of all colors. When did people think that this is entertainment? When did they think that this is something whereby Joe Public would look at it and say, you know what? As the other young girl said, you could express yourself. It appears that there is a spirit in the land. That spirit of do what thou will. And I'm just going to be blunt. From a Christian perspective, as the old school used to say it in church back in the day, a lot of folks gonna bust hell wide open. Jesus gotta come. And it's gotta be a Days of Noah experience what we're looking at. I'm out, people.